Hello, and welcome to this update on the tornadoes. I will update you tonight. I don't want to make you wait till tomorrow. We have actually three tornadoes that touched down in the immediate area. Well, not Long Island, but toward north and west. We're going to first start with the tornado that happened in Rybrook, actually from Purchase to Rybrook. It was an EF0 tornado. Estimated wind 85 miles an hour, path length 1.82 miles, almost 2 miles. That's a long time for our area. Usually tornadoes don't stay on the ground that long. Path width 40 yards. Fortunately, no fatalities or injuries. It started July 21st, 4:10 p.m. in Purchase, New York, and ended at 4:17 p.m. So it was on the ground for 7 minutes. Ended at 4:17 in Rybrook. It was a short-lived and intermittent EF0 tornado that developed in Purchase, Westchester County, New York, and traveled east-northeast toward Rybrook, New York. This confirmation was strengthened by radar evidence of a rotating thunderstorm with non-meteorological debris, likely leaves and small branches, lofted several feet above the ground. The tornado likely began on Manhattanville College campus, where it uprooted several trees in addition to snapping large branches. The tornado likely lifted before touching down to the southeast and shearing off the tops of the trees and uprooting a few trees on Lincoln Avenue near Loudon Lane. The tornado likely lifted once again before making, so it did lift in between, I guess. It wasn't constantly on the ground that whole time. Before making final touchdown to the east-northeast near Lawbridge Drive and downing a few trees and wires. The tornado likely lifted one last time and dissipated before the storm made its way over the New York-Connecticut state line, with a spotter reporting tree branch and leaf debris littering on the Hutchinson Parkway shortly before 4:20 p.m. So there you go. That's the report for that tornado. And the other tornado in New Jersey, actually, my mistake. Do apologize, but Mount Holly should have had it on their website. It's actually Mount Holly that's responsible for that area. So the other tornado in New Jersey in Morris County. So severe storms developed, quickly moved across the region. So Mt.Olive and Stanhope tornado. The Mt.Olive, I guess this is the Mt.Olive and Stanhope tornado. I guess they routed because it went through two areas. This was an EF1. Estimated peak wind of 80 to 90 miles an hour. This was on the ground for 1.4 miles. So a much stronger tornado. And its path width was actually 250 yards. So it started on July 21st, 2026, 2 p.m., 0.9 miles west-northwest, Stanhope, Morris, New Jersey. And it ended at 2:05 p.m., 0.4 miles northeast of the Netcon Morris line, all right? Extensive tree damage was noted near the interchange of Interstate 80 and Highway 206. The path of tree damage continued toward Continental Drive. There was a discontinuous tree damage path through Stanhope. The next area of damage was noted on the southern shore of Lake Muscatagong. At residences along Causelis Drive, tree damage was observed. Some shingles were blown off the roof of one residence, and gutter damage was noted at another residence. The distinctive path of damage appeared to and end at Causelis Drive. And this is the other tornado now. This is the Lower Berkshire Valley tornado. EF1, estimated peak wind of 100 to 110 miles an hour, on the ground for about 0.6 miles, path about 250 yards. I believe this was from the same storm that spawned both of these tornadoes. Start time, 2:15 p.m., 2.8 miles northeast of Roxbury Township, and end time, 2:17 p.m., 3.3 miles northeast of Roxbury Township. An EF1 tornado occurred in the lower Berkshire Valley section of Roxbury Township in Morris County, New Jersey, on July 21st. The tornado began on the west side of Berkshire Valley Road between the Morristown and Montclair Boonton NJ Transit line and Interstate 80, uprooting several trees. The tornado continued to the northeast, causing additional damage along Berkshire Valley Road north of I-80. In this area, a softwood pine tree was snapped about halfway up along its trunk. Continuing northeast, the tornado crossed through a neighborhood along Little Lane. Numerous trees and wires were damaged in the area, including a large, healthy hardwood tree being uprooted. The combination of this tree being uprooted and the snapped softwood tree led to the EF1 rating, with 100 to 110 mile an hour maximum winds for this tornado. The tornado proceeded northeast, damaging numerous additional trees and wires as it crossed Mill Road before dissipating. There are no known injuries or fatalities associated with this tornado. Now we have the Pine Brook tornado. So it's actually three different tornadoes here we have here. Wow. An EF1 tornado, estimated peak wind of 80 to 90 miles per hour. 0.2 miles was the path. So this was on the ground, very short amount of time, 70 yards wide. Started at 250, ended at 251. A tornado touched down behind the ridgeland of Woodser Drive in the Pine Brook section of Montville around 2:50 p.m. The tornado generally tracked northeast, where a path of mainly tree damage was found. A large uprooted tree and several large branches were found to be snapped in a couple of backyards along Hook Mountain Road. Photos were passed on by a local resident of a broken power pole, which was snapped at its base, which was lying across Hook Mountain Road. The tornado continued onward, removing some shingles from a house before crossing over Hook Mountain Road and dissipating around 2:51 p.m. before reaching the Passaic River. Now, one more tornado here. There was a tornado also in Cape May. EF0 tornado, estimated wind 60 to 70 miles an hour. Path length 2.55 miles, 0.2.55 miles. So very brief, 30 yards wide. Started at 6:15, ended at 6:16. So it was basically a water spout was witnessed going on shore on the beach at Cape May Point. A narrow path of tree damage was noted along Lincoln Avenue, Yale Avenue, and near the intersection of Oxford Avenue and West Lake Drive. At least one witness saw the funnel cloud proceed into Lake Lily, but no other damage was noted. So there you go. Wow, that's pretty significant. We have like four tornado touchdowns, actually. The one in Westchester and 3 in New Jersey. Actually, make that 4 in New Jersey. Hold on. We have 1. So, we have this tornado here, Mount Holly and Stanhope. Lower Berkshire Valley tornado. Right? Then this Pine Brook. So, that's actually 5 tornado touchdowns yesterday. 5 tornado touchdowns in the metropolitan area. That is, well, if you want to consider Cape May. But that is incredible. So, that tornado watch definitely was needed. Yes, we missed out on the action. But definitely... that is what I've got for you from the National Weather Service. That's it. And I'll be back tomorrow night to talk about the weekend.